I'd like to speak to you about the lack of affordable housing causing homelessness. Today I will give a definition of homelessness, discuss the stereotypes of homelessness, one common myth about homelessness, and skyrocketing rents. The housing crisis and corresponding recession will hit the poorest Americans the hardest. Many families and most vulnerable citizens, those growing older, those living with disabilities, low-income children, and youth, will fall through the cracks into homelessness. More than 550,000 people in the United States are homeless on any given night. More than 18 million will spend more than half of their income on housing, and there is no state in which the number of affordable housing matches the number of low-income households. Homelessness is the condition of being without a permanent place to live, to eat, to sleep, to shower, to come and go as one pleases, leave one's belongings, and receive one's mail. It is a condition of being without a place to call home. A pedestrian today can hardly walk very far in one of America's cities before encountering a homeless person, someone asking for spare change, selling a street newspaper, or gathering cans and bottles for recycling, or sleeping under a blanket in the park. The same pedestrian will no doubt see scores of abandoned buildings, boarded up and wasted, and they might wonder, why is there homelessness in our society? And for that matter, why do some people live on giant estates complete with tennis courts and swimming pools, while others huddle in doorways or sleep in shelters? What has gone wrong with this country, supposedly the land of plenty? Before these questions can be answered properly, it is important to cut through the thick web of misinformation and stereotypes that have been attached to the homelessness over the years. Stereotypes of homelessness. When the issue of homelessness is discussed, the image often portrayed of a homeless person is of a disheveled, dirty, lazy man sitting against a wall with a bottle of beer bruised, propped in his lap. This image of homelessness is a stereotype that is often used to blame the homelessness problem on its victims, the homeless people themselves. The reality is that homeless people are like anyone you'll meet on the street. They're black, white, brown, male and female, young and old, employed and unemployed. Moreover, millions of Americans who are alcoholics or mentally ill persons have never become homeless. So granted that while addiction or mental illness makes the threat of homelessness more serious, these problems only contribute. They do not cause homelessness. One common myth about homelessness. One common myth is that most homeless came out of the deinstitutionalization of mental hospitals. However, deinstitutionalization ended in the 70s, and most people who are homeless today became so long after that. The causes of homelessness are two societal problems that are epidemic in a capitalist, profit-driven society: lack of affordable housing and extreme poverty. There is a catch-22 in the life of a homeless person. It is nearly impossible to get a job without first having a permanent address and phone number, and getting a permanent address requires steady income, usually from a job. Shortages of both money on the part of the renter and affordable dwellings to rent perpetuates their problems. Housing assistance programs, while a step in the right direction, have been inadequate. Only 26% of the households eligible for assistance ever received it. And in 1997, the U.S. Conference of Mayors conducted a study of the status of hunger and homelessness. They found that housing applicants wait an average of 19 months to receive assistance, and applicants for the Section 8 housing vouchers wait an average of 37 months. In 19 of the cities surveyed, the waiting list for housing was so long that the cities actually stopped accepting applications. Skyrocketing rents. Skyrocketing rents are pushing working people to the brink of homelessness. In 1995, the city of Boston ended its low rent control law. Apartment units that once cost $500 per month now cost $900. Three-bedroom apartment in a working class South Boston currently rents for about $1,800 a month. The conservative landlords who have advocated for the end of rent control claim that it would be good for everyone. They argue that ending rent control will lead to higher property tax revenues, create incentives for developers to build new, more profitable housing units, and eventually cause rent prices to fall again. However, it is clear that as the years go by after the end of rent control, housing costs have not fallen but have doubled. Real estate developers are building mainly expensive units and are also buying up older affordable housing and refurbishing them into yuppie condominiums. So clearly, relying on the invisible hand of the housing market does not benefit poor people who need housing. The federal government in the past has taken notable stabs at the problem of homelessness. In 1987, the McKinney Act was passed, creating all types of new programs to house, feed, educate, and help the homeless find jobs. However, over the past years, pieces of the McKinney Act have remained underfunded or seriously underfunded. So please contact your congressional representative and ask them to fund the McKinney Act. Today, I gave a definition of homelessness, discussed the stereotypes of homelessness, one common myth about homelessness, and skyrocketing rents. Thank you for your attention. Good day.